Good afternoon and welcome back to RMU Live for Friday, March 23rd, 2018. I'm Gage Golding.
And I'm Megan Shandel. Here's what's happening now.
The Moon Area School District has voted to close Hyde Elementary School. The school district said that the closure will save thousands of dollars, but parents booed as the board finalized the vote Monday night. The school district is also looking into a merger with Cornell School District.
A Tier 3 sex offender on the Megan's Law list was arrested Thursday in Moon Township. The Allegheny County Sheriffs arrested 25-year-old Jamal Tompkins, who pled guilty in a 2012 case of sexually assaulting a juvenile female with Down syndrome. Police report they made an arrest in a hotel room.
A Pittsburgh mom is not facing charges after police say she left her 3 children home alone and one of them wandered outside. Jalen Williams is now behind bars after a couple found a toddler standing outside his home on Maytide Street in only a shirt and no pants.
Republican Rick Saccone on Wednesday conceded his defeat against Democrat Connor Lamb. Lamb won Pennsylvania's 18th congressional district special election by about 750 votes, despite the area traditionally favoring Republicans. In a tweet on Wednesday night, Connor Lamb said, quote, "Just got off the phone with my opponent at Rick Saccone for PA, who congratulated me and graciously conceded last Tuesday's election. I congratulate Mr. Saccone for a close, hard-fought race and wish him the best," unquote.
The Austin, Texas bomber left a 25-minute recording of his confession after detonating several bombs in the city. Andy Rose has more on the story in Austin.
I would classify this as a confession.
Austin police have found a 25-minute recording left behind by a young man who terrorized the city with package bombs for almost 3 weeks.
The suspect describes the 6 bombs that he constructed with a level of specificity that he identified the differences among those 6 bombs.
The suspect, Mark Anthony Condit, took his own life with a 7th bomb early Wednesday morning as authorities closed in on him. Police say they still don't have a clear motive for what drove Condit to do what he did.
What I can tell you, having listened to that recording, he does not at all mention anything about terrorism, nor does he mention anything about hate, but instead it is the outcry of a very challenged young man talking about challenges in his personal life.
Local police and federal agents spent Wednesday scouring the home of the Texas serial bomber. While no completed devices were found, the ATF did find the materials used to build more bombs. Police detained and questioned Condit's 2 roommates, hoping to learn more about the 23-year-old. A neighbor said he saw Condit just last week and didn't notice anything out of the ordinary at the time.
He was a quiet, very polite, respectful young man. The conversations that I had with him and with the family were all nothing that would ever lead you to believe that anything like this could ever be possible.
I'm Andy Rose reporting.
After 3 weeks, the city of Austin will now have a chance to rebuild following the 6 bombs. Thank you, Andy.
A woman in North Carolina is now facing charges after letting her toddler smoke marijuana. The woman is identified as 20-year-old Brianna Ashitani Lofton in a video she posted on Facebook. She is seen giving her 1-year-old a joint. She is now facing charges including felony child abuse and possession of marijuana.
The governors of Pennsylvania, Ohio, and West Virginia have agreed to another 3 years to boost the development of shale gas resources. The organization, Tri-State Shale Coalition, came to life in 2015 under the reign of Governor Tom Wolf, and it is designed to market local use for the natural gas resources in the Marcellus and Utica shales.
2 people are fighting for their lives after a school shooting in Maryland. With more on the story is Gage Golding.
Are still in critical condition following an active shooter situation in Maryland. A 16-year-old female and a 14-year-old male, both students at the school, were shot by 17-year-old Austin Wyatt Rollins. The shooting at Great Mills High School in Maryland happened Tuesday morning at 7:55 a.m. when Rollins shot the 2 students inside the school before being shot and killed by the school resource officer. School resource officer Blaine Gaskell was unharmed whenever he was fired upon by Rollins.
It's something they couldn't really prevent because they have a couple officers, but they're really well-trained officers.
Great Mills High School is 2 hours away from Baltimore, Maryland, and only an hour and a half away from Washington, D.C. RMU-TV had an exclusive interview with Danielle Taco. Danielle is a senior at Great Mills High School and was inside the school when the shooting occurred.
The person who got shot, her name is Jalen Wiley, and it was due to a previous relationship between the shooter and the victim.
There is an indication that a prior relationship existed between the shooter and the female victim.
Yes, in my graduating class, I knew him from elementary school. We went to middle school together, and he was such a quiet and nice person, and I don't think any of us expected for him to do something like this.
School resource officer, Deputy First Class Blaine Gaskell, was alerted and immediately responded and engaged the shooter.
I can speak for my peers, and I'm very sure that most of us regard to him as a hero for doing that, because if he didn't take action, I'm sure that there would have been a lot more people harmed.
Thank you, Gage. People are calling the school resource officer a hero. This school shooting is the 11th since 17 students died in Parkland, Florida.
Authorities in New York report that a flight crew member arrived at New York's Kennedy Airport with 4 packages of cocaine taped to his legs. The flight that originated in Jamaica had about 9 pounds of cocaine on the flight attendant, worth about $160,000 on the street.
The U.S. government risks another government shutdown after the spending bill was sent to the president. A tweet, Donald Trump cited a lack of funding for his proposed border wall, as well as a failure to address DACA. Less than 24 hours ago, White House Budget Director Mick Mulvaney said that he would sign the bill. Now with a quick look at weather, Tyler, it's been pretty cold lately. Any chance it's going to warm up soon?
Thanks, guys. Today's weather is about 40 degrees out here, and it's actually a very nice day. We're going to be mostly sunny throughout the day with some clouds here and there. And as you can see, some of the snow is already starting to melt and will hopefully mean that we're exiting winter at last. And now, let's throw it back inside.
And for all you need to know about news, sports, arts, and entertainment at Robert Morris University and around the Pittsburgh area, visit RMU-CenturyMedia.com.
Coming up, Elon Musk is setting aside $15 million for a prize.
And France is taking a new step to help shelter their homeless in the city. All this and more coming up right after the break.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
Here at Robert Morris University, we pride ourselves at the experience that our students gain while they're actively learning in the classroom. Some even come back to share that knowledge with new students.
I never dreamed that I'd be back here. I'm having so much fun. I'm doing a lot of what I was trained to do and what I went to school for.
The Colonial Sports Network is a great opportunity for students to learn real job skills in sports programming.
To be able to see what the students want to make of it, because it can be anything that they want.
I love being here, seeing students, seeing myself in the students that work with me, and I'm really blessed to have so much talent to work with. It's really amazing.
To be able to see students become successful after Robert Morris is really cool.
Join the Colonial Sports Network team and expand your future today.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool.
To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
6 people are now dead after an explosion at a chemical plant in the Czech Republic. The blast happened north of the capital city of Prague at the Unipetrol facility. A fire company spokesperson said at least 6 people have died, with several others seriously injured.
Yesterday, about 200,000 people walked the streets in France to protest trade unions and a French president, Emmanuel Macron. Due to the violence between the protesters and riot police, rail and air services are canceled across the country. Air France canceled 30% of their flights. Ryanair and EasyJet canceled flights as well, but did not report how many.
11 people in India are now behind bars after they killed cows. In the Hindi culture, cows are sacred and killing them is against the law. A court in the northern India country have sentenced the 11 men to life in prison for lynching the Muslim meat last year.
President Pedro Pablo Kuczynski of Peru faced impeachment in December in response, resigned on Wednesday. According to Lima-based media, he is expected to air a televised address soon. Lawmakers who support Kuczynski recommended he should resign after he attempted to pay them in exchange for his leadership.
France has announced a new way they are helping their homeless. Paris City Hall announced Thursday evening that they are creating bubbles to house at least half of the city's 3,000 homeless people. The city also announced the addition of public bath and shower areas, 2 new restaurants for homeless, and an area for them to store their belongings.
Elon Musk is running $15 million as a prize for the Global Learning X Prize. Entrepreneurs will then use this award to develop software and utilize it to effectively teach illiterate children living in extreme poverty. The founder of X Prize, Peter Diamandis, believes swift technological advancements will benefit not only the upper class, but all social classes. An unusual discovery found in the Chilean desert, Ada, attracted scientists and extraterrestrial investigators. The artifact is suspected, to be human, but has a skull that narrows to a rigid peak. After tests, scientists deduced this tiny skeleton was between 6 and 8 years old at death. However, the Ada Desert would have stood only 6 inches tall.
Scientists report that a pile of floating waste in the ocean between California and Hawaii now weighs up to 79,000 tons, which is more than the weight of 6,500 school buses. Officials close to the project say that the debris is mostly made up from debris created from fishing and other sea businesses. A new study that released shows that leading a healthy lifestyle can help prevent dementia. Mary Maloney has more on the story.
Women with high cardiovascular fitness or high stamina could have an 88% lower risk of dementia than their more sedentary counterparts. That's according to the results of a new study in the journal Neurology. Researchers also found the average age at dementia onset was 11 years older among those with better stamina. The new study continues a trend of spotlighting controllable risk factors like diet and lifestyle. The Alzheimer's Association says not smoking, getting enough sleep, and staying socially engaged are all ways people can try to reduce their risk of dementia. More research is needed to determine whether improved fitness could have positive effects on dementia risk and when in life a high fitness level is most important. For today's Health Minute, I'm Mary Maloney.
An estimated 5.7 people are living with dementia in America. Thank you, Mary.
In a study conducted by Salk Institute, maternal behavior changes brain cells. Their study of a female mouse and her pups lends support to studies of early brain development in children is affected by environment. This breakthrough can provide comprehension into neuropsychiatric disorders such as depression and schizophrenia.
Be sure to tune in to our other shows, RMU Live, Mondays at 1 p.m. and Fridays at noon. Sports Talk in the Berg and RMU Tonight, Wednesdays at 5 p.m. and Colonial Sports Center Thursday at 9:30 p.m. right here on RMU-TV.
Coming up, Tyler Schlendorn in our Weather Center.
And Nick Hederick with sports. All this and more coming up next.
These hot ashes are about to be dumped, which could possibly start a wildfire. How will Smokey deal with such a hot situation? The garden hose defense. Next, a thorough stir. Then another spray. And finally, feeling if the ashes are cool.
Oh, yeah.
Ah, yes, the selfie. A ritual practiced so frequently with this tribe, but not so much by Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
They call me Prince like I'm royalty or something. But the places I've lived ain't no palaces. So I don't need grilled salmon or a new scratching post. Just give me a cardboard box and a can of tuna and we're good. You can even change my name. I'm cool being the kitty formerly known as Prince. told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
If you don't fix them, sparks from dragging tow chains could cause a wildfire, and that could be scary. Smokey! Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back to RMU-Live. I am Nick Hedrick. Now let's talk sports. Here in Pittsburgh, the Penguins have a very busy weekend ahead. They will host the New Jersey Devils tonight, and then on Sunday they will host the Philadelphia Flyers in an NHL Pennsylvania showdown. The Penguins continue to chase the Washington Capitals, for the Metropolitan Division lead. And believe it or not, we are less than a week away from MLB opening day. On Thursday, the Pirates will open the season against the Detroit Tigers. Ivan Nova will take the mound for the Pirates and will look to get the Buccos into the win column. And here in RMU sports, it was a big week for a few men's hockey players as 3 Colonials signed to play with minor league teams this week. Spencer Dorowitz and Robert Powers both signed with the Greenville Swamp Rabbits. The Swamp Rabbits are an affiliate of the New York Rangers. And star Brady Ferguson signed an amateur tryout agreement with the Toronto Marlies, who are the AHL affiliate of the Toronto Maple Leafs. It was also a big week for men's lacrosse, who are ranked 14th in the nation. That is an RMU lacrosse record. They take on Mount St. Mary's on the road tomorrow as they look to win their 5th game in a row. The women's team will take on Louisville tomorrow at home. They just won their first home game of the season against St. Bonaventure last weekend. And on to softball. They will take on Canisius in a doubleheader on Sunday. They will try to end a 6-game losing streak. And that is all the time we have for sports. Let's throw it over to Tyler Schlendorn with weather. Tyler, how's the weather going to be this weekend?
Well, today's weather is going to be very interesting. Sorry about that. Today's weather is going to be very good considering the weather we had last week. We're going to be looking at a high of 39 degrees with a low of 13. And it's also going to be mostly cloudy throughout the day. Tomorrow's weather, though, is going to be a bit warmer with a high of 41 degrees and a low of 18. And it will once again be mostly cloudy throughout the day. On to the 5-day forecast. This week we're just going up and up as we are going to reach the almost 60s. That's right, the 60s for what feels like the first time in forever. And also, for what feels like forever, no snow this week, guys. We're going to have some nice weather, minus some of the rain we're going to have, which will be sporadic on Wednesday and all throughout the day on Thursday. And then minus some clouds on Tuesday. We're going to have a great week. And now, we're going to throw it back to the desk.
Thank you, Tyler. Thank you, Nick. Now, Megan, looking at that weather, we just came off this random snow, which I'm a skier, so that's awesome for me. I love to get that fresh powder out there on the slopes. But coming, and you see that trend, and you just see it go higher and higher and higher and higher. And what I really get excited about is whenever you look at the low temperature, and it's not below freezing. That's whenever spring is finally here.
It's not here yet.
Not here yet, but we're getting there. But unfortunately, that's all the time we have for RMU Live. Thank you very much for joining us.
See you next week. Have a great weekend.